Hello, guys. Sean, welcome to the Shankly's Boot Room, and this is the Boot Room podcast. So, welcome in if you're just coming in. And so what I wanted to do today was have a little bit of a chat about a few things, really. Perhaps let's review the game. Let's review the game from the Champions League game a little bit. A couple of things I want to mention actually, and that is that let me just get my glasses are absolutely messed up here. You like it all day. Yeah, I kind of wanted to speak about a couple of things that I've noticed that I really like actually. And it's something which is helping me a lot to know about the second half of the season because when I've done a little bit of a dive into Arne Slot at Feyenoord, I found that he has had mostly better second halves of the seasons compared to what he has first half. Although they're both pretty good. Uh, and so what I'm starting to see and what I'm starting to notice is that Arne Slot plays in gears, or he gets the team to play in gears. Yeah. Whereas we were always gun ho um, under uh, under Jurgen. Yeah, we played a certain way. It's all out there. It's just 100 miles. Sorry, guys, my glasses are still messed it up. Um, but Arne Slot doesn't play that way, or he doesn't get his teams to play that way. He gets his teams to play with a um, with a kind of obviously control, but the main thing there is that when we're playing, we've got these different gears we can go into, you know. And I've been noticing that, and I really like that. And I was actually looking at the minutes that players have played, and we make a lot of early substitutions, and we bring players on. Yeah, in the other game the other night, Gravenberch, for instance, only played the first half. You know, so although our midfield have played a lot of minutes, if you actually deep it, they've actually been rotated quite a bit, and that sort of thing. So it's not been that bad, It's not been as bad as you might think. That's what I noticed. But let's speak about Harvey Elliott, because I think we need to give him a mention here, really, Clearly not in Slot's plans, or hasn't been. He was fit from November. He's only just been coming into the team now. Whether it's been him, I don't know. But what we're basically seeing is we're seeing him. Now, why is that? I'm going to pour internet just there for some reason. Yeah. So what we're starting to see is that uh, like with Harvey Elliott coming on, what we're starting to really basically see with Harvey Elliott is because one of the things I love about Harvey Elliott is he can come on, and even if he hasn't played for months, he just gives a great performance, and it's like he doesn't need any time to actually find his way into the team. Do you know what I mean? That's how it looks. It's how it appears to me, and so that's rather interesting. I find, he's just straight into it. But um, I think that Arne Slot might play him more. And this is what I was going to say about the second halves of seasons, because what I'm starting to see in the last couple of games is we're starting to rotate a bit more. He has to. He has to rotate a bit more because the first half of the season we haven't rotated so much through one Arne Slot not believing maybe in some of the players, possibly, obviously fitness issues, etc., etc., etc. But now the second half of the season's on, the games are still coming thick and fast, and they've got a lot of mileage in the legs. Some of the players, he's got to rotate it somewhat. Even Klopp did that. So we're going to start seeing That's why I remember Klopp used to say, we need all of these players. And sort of in the early season, he's sort of picking the same team over and over and thinking, well, I thought you said you needed all the players, but then the second half of the season, they start to come in, get into that January, February time. You start to see a bit more rotation. And Ollie Slot has to do the same, so he's got to play these players. It doesn't mean to say that they're players he's going to keep in the summer, but what it does mean is that it's definitely a sign that, uh, you know, um, well, it's definitely a sign to me anyway that he's trying to really manage everyone's minutes, which of course is very, very important. He likes to work with a smallish squad as well. Have you noticed that? Even when I look at his teams because I've been doing quite a lot of things on Slot lately because I've been so impressed with him, even from like Christmas onwards. I've been studying him a lot, and I just think he's an amazing manager. He really is. I'm starting to break him down a lot more. And what I'm finding is he has this thing of, like with the rotation, really. Let's put it like that. He does like to rotate more than you might think he does. We think he's playing the same team, but if you actually start looking at when he's making substitutions, when he's bringing players on, and I mean, let's go over the game the other night against Lille. I actually thought that we were a bit wasteful through the game. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities we created, and but at the same time, we I don't think we really sort of come under any sort of my dog's running around my feet here. I don't think we actually. Uh, I just think that the way the whole game panned out was that it was one where we could have scored a lot more than we actually did. But Lille were actually surprisingly good. That's the thing I've got to really speak about there. They actually were pretty. They actually surprised me. The way they kept the ball, passed the ball, looked to have quite a high press and things like that. So there were no slouches. And I think their record was something like 21 wins in a row or something like that. So I mean that's pretty good going. So they're obviously a good team in that regard. But we never got out of third gear. I didn't think. The strange part about it, I don't feel we actually got out of third or second gear the whole game. And I mean, even people were saying it's a boring game. We just looked so in control of the game, and we brought the substitutions in. All the substitutions seemed to fit and make sense, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, but Harvey Elliott is I think could become a more important person, and I think also Endo, who I don't think he obviously doesn't rate him highly. Let's get it down there clear. I mean, he's been fit all season and not played hardly any games really. But I think he does see him as that kind of almost James Milner type. Come on, when he came on, he got so many clever fouls, um, and that's an important thing, of course. When you're coming into the later phases of a game, people are getting a bit tired. They're obviously 2-1 down. They want to push a bit. So you bring Endo on, who's so clever in the way he can slow the game down and just sort of just kind of like make a difference in that regard, and get those cheap fouls. He did do the one over near the end where he looked to go down a little bit too often. And it could have been a nice attack for them because we gave away a free kick in a bit of a dangerous area. So we kind of played that card a bit too much. But I like Endo, and Endo is someone who definitely can be someone very important for us. Between these all these players are going to have importance to us, either winning the league or not winning the league. It's as simple as that. We're going to get possibly some injuries. Let's hope it's not to the real key players. But all facets of the team are going to be needed during this run-in with between now and the end of the season, really. You know, and so yeah, and in the midfield, I thought we controlled it quite well, and that type of thing. And obviously, we get a goal. But a lot of luck on the Elliott goal, of course, which took that huge deflection. But you get your luck. We've created enough chances in the game to win it, really. And so, yeah, but big up to Lille to a point because they were a good side. I was quite surprised how good they were. And, on another day, things could have been a bit different. So we played 7. We've won 7, and we're at the top of the group. But today been looking into the group system and how it works. And it doesn't seem to really matter if you, I mean, there's a couple of things to look at here. One, we have a Dutch team, PSV, who we're playing, and that might be one that Scott really wants to win. To be quite honest with you, so that might affect how we play the team. But I think also there's a bit of more money involved for winning. I don't think it's huge, but of course also to be the first in this new Champions League phase to have won 8 out of 8 would be the first to ever do it. So if anyone goes on to replicate that, will always be the first. So it's a record book thing in a way with this new system. But this new system, I'm not sure about it because there's been a lot of mention about how with this new system, we could still possibly get Bayern Munich, we could still possibly get Juventus, we could still now under the old system, the point of winning your group is you tended to get a much lower, like a lower performing team in the next round to sort of keep it all the way through to sort of get to the quarters and semis and well, particularly semis and final. That doesn't seem to be the way this system works. So you can still end up. So it's kind of almost like how I'm seeing it is you just need to be in the top eight. Really, top eight is where it is, because that's what avoids you the double legged one in February, which you don't need because we've got cup games going on, league games going on. There's a lot of games already going on, so there's something you can do without. And then Slot mentioned yesterday in the presser that he was mostly happy at the fact that we'd actually qualified. Wasn't speaking so much about coming top because he gave the exact same example that I've just given, which is like you don't really, it doesn't really seem to affect what's going to happen with you with regards to who you're going to actually get. So we could still get Juventus, we could still get Real Madrid, by the looks of it, from what I can make out, even though we're missing that next round. So my point there is, I think like Slot was mainly speaking in terms of the fact that he was just happy that we missed the actual next leg, the double header leg, because we can do without it. Do without it, obviously. So I think that's an amazing point. I'm just going to see what I'm looking like. Am I actually getting out on YouTube here? Because no one's coming in at the moment. Just have a look and see how it's looking that way. Um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's there anyway. Right. Okay. Yeah, so the volume there on there. So anyway, so that's that one. Um, so really, when it comes to next week, what kind of team do you think we might field for the European game? Because on the one side, you could say, well, we just go really strong, win all 8 for pride and for all of those kinds of factors, or go reasonably strong. Um, or do you think Slot is probably going to just say, well, I'm just going to put whoever up there because at the end of the day, actually, it doesn't really matter because we're probably going to still get. The point is we're missing the double header, which I think is his main point. Slots really, but I don't know. I might have underestimated Slot before, and he might well put a strong side out there to actually beat PSV because he's a very competitive guy. Is what I feel. Yeah, that'd be interesting anyway. So, but anyway, let's have a look actually at our next fixtures and just see um, how it's all looking, shall we? Um, so let's go to uh, have a look at the Premier League fixtures. So obviously Saturday we're playing at 3 o'clock, and we have obviously we've got Ipswich. That's at Anfield. Now and then we play. Hang on a minute. Go into the February fixtures then. Then, of course, we've got Bournemouth, which is another 3 o'clocker. Now, Bournemouth will be a tough match. Um, that'd be a humdinger of one, that. And then we've got the following week, we have Everton. Oh, no, we have Everton on the Wednesday. So on the Wednesday, we've got Everton. Yeah, PSV after. Yeah, we've got PSV after Ipswich, yeah. Then Everton, and then. Oh, yeah, so that's the way the fixtures are lining up there. As I can see it, yeah. So anyway, speaking about the PSV game for a sec. Hi there, ship's cap, by the way. Yeah, Bournemouth will be tough, very, very tough. Uh, but thinking about the game with PSV, I just wonder how he will go around that, because, as I say, he's already come out today, or on the last interview I saw him on, and he was mentioning that we've already got through the phase, whether we win the actual thing next week, or Barcelona, or we get a draw and Barcelona overtake us, or we lose it and get Barcelona, whatever, they win it. Whatever the case may be, we don't have to have that double header in February, which is his main point. So do you think we go strong on that one because of pride, and because it's PSV, and because slots like that, or what do you reckon? What do you think, Shipscat? Do you think that could be something we might do? Do you reckon we'll go strong against PSV next week? Or I know we've got. Sorry, if you just come in, I was talking about a bit about the game on the game we just played against Lille, and then I was looking ahead to that game to just see how we actually approach it because of the fixtures, the way they're coming. And I've also been saying that the other thing I've been saying really is the other thing I was mentioning about was how good we're being in the recent games, in the way we're doing our substitutions, when we're doing the substitutions, and when we're bringing players off, like Gravenberch just played one half, came off, so he gets more rest. Bringing McAllister on, so they're sort of getting bits of games, but they're not overplaying, and we're also playing them like third gear. Is how I felt that game the other day. Even though they're a good side and they pass it well and they press well, I just felt we were so in control. I think the game. Let's put this up on here, shall we? I think the game being in Holland, Slot will want to win most likely. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking, and because it's against PSV as well, that's what I thought. And I think I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to make as many changes as Klopp used to. Actually, I think what I'm starting to see with Slot is he makes subtle little changes of 3 or 4 players, but he's still got the main team there to bring on if needed, or to freshen it up, or move it around, or whatever. So I think I agree with you there, and I think he's managing the team a lot better than we think in terms of their minutes. If you really start deep in it, the minutes are not as bad as you might think. Everton, then Wolves, I think. Yeah, I think if by Everton, if we can get wins in the games up to there. Let's go back to the fixtures again. Where's the Everton one? Sorry, guys, I haven't learned. So obviously we've got Ipswich at 3 o'clock. We should come through that. Bournemouth will be tough. If you imagine, if we can win that one, if we can actually win that, we then the next league fixture will be the Everton game. I think if we come through that Everton game, I reckon will be very difficult for us to lose the league from that point. I think I'm earmarking that Everton game as a big one, and it is 2 big games. I mean, obviously, obviously having Bournemouth and Everton They're not easy games. So I'm not trying to just make that a pushover, but yeah. But yeah, I think that'll be what I'd be thinking as well. And that's the one, that Everton game I'm marking as a one because that'll be our extra game. And I think if we win that, I think it's going to be really hard for us to lose it from then on. The thing is, you can't see Liverpool losing 3 or 4 games because at the very most we get is a draw. So to actually lose games, which is what the chasing pack need us to start doing, which is basically Arsenal. Um, yeah, so I reckon we'll be okay. I really do. Ipswich won't be easy considering they conceded. So looking at, yeah, they'll be up for it because they won't want to. They won't want to come to Anfield and just. I mean, I think they're probably not really a low block team, are they? Of course, but you just wonder whether they will play a bit of a lowish block and look to counter us and that kind of thing. They come out and just play like they tend to want to do. We'll have them on toast, but I think I can't see them doing that. They want to keep it tight, at least for a percentage of the game, because that six would have hurt. Yeah, it would have hurt. And yeah, yeah. If we can win the derby, yeah, I agree. If we can win the derby, we'll be in a great position. And that's true. That's really true. I reckon we can probably win go on to win the league. I'll be very confident about winning the league from there, even though there's still quite a few number of games to go. Of course, you can slip up anywhere, get injuries, all sorts can happen. But I mean, it'd be pretty, it'd be pretty rough to miss it from there. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to it so much. I really, really am. Ship's Cat, what do you reckon of this uh, documentary for Klopp coming out in February, right around when we've got all these fixtures going on, by the way. We've got Man City as well, I think, and all that. That's when it's due to come out. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because normally you'd say, well, does it really matter? But when you're in the title race, like we are, when Arne Slot has had to fill loads of stuff, and I don't, and I love Klopp. I absolutely love Klopp to pieces. Best Premiership manager and all the rest of it. But he's not with us now, and Slot is. He doesn't need to be deflecting questions about because what's going to happen now is that documentary is going to go out right in the heart of our season when we've got all these games, and there's always going to be media spin-offs from it, you know, and I just think the timing's bad. I know it's a Prime Video production or whatever, so they can probably put it on whenever they like. But it's just another thing we don't need. We've got all these contracts going on with these players, and yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just bad news. I just feel sorry for Arne Slot, really. Don't like these documentary things. Another face of yeah, yeah. I'm not keen on it either. I mean, to watch Klopp's last year at any other time wouldn't bother me at all. I'd obviously watch it because you just want to see how that all went. But I think it was meant to be about his whole career. It started off about his whole career. Then he gave in his obviously said he's leaving the club, so they condensed it down to this last year. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel a bit sorry for Ollie Slot. Really, he's had to come in. He obviously knew it because he was coming into a club where we'd had such a great manager, so he knew he was going to have to field a lot of questions about Klopp. But I mean, now you're hearing like, oh, Liverpool are reverting to type and going back to Klopp's ways in games, which actually I think we probably are sometimes because half of the team or 3/4 of the team were Klopp's team. So you kind of get it when we get into tight spots in games and stuff like that. You see that kind of thing happening. But no, I agree with you there. I don't. I just think it's poor timing, really. I would just wish it wasn't taking place. Because there's going to be a media spin out of it, and there's so much Liverpool hatred out there. Let's get it real. There's a lot of media Liverpool hatred out there in the internet world. and they're just going to spin off of it. They're just going to use some things which will come out of that, some comments maybe or whatever. I mean, you look at Curtis Jones this week. He comes out and makes those comments, and I mean, it just goes all over the place. And I just think it's something we don't need with these massive games going on. We need these contracts sorted out as well. That's obvious, an obvious one. So, but yeah, it's one of those. I agree, but I think for me, I'm very confident about this season. I really, really am. I don't know if you've seen my video that I put out the other day, which is talking about looking ahead to the summer. The summer, I am worried about. I really, really am, because I just think we have. Let's just say hypothetically, we don't sign these three players don't sign to new contracts. So you've got the heartbeat of your team gone out in Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah, essentially Mo Salah really, and obviously Trent leaving us. If I think he's going. I think Trent's going anyway. But what I'm trying to say is that when you think of the positions we haven't dealt with already, so left back, centre back. If Trent doesn't stay, that's going to be right back, midfield, forwards. We've got all these areas to cover, plus the heart of your team's ripped out. Now, I don't want us to drop off. If we've got Arnie Slot in here now, if we can win this league this year, I do not want drop off. In the sense that the heart of our team is just being ripped out. So I so hope that we get these contracts over the line, we get them sorted out, and we get them to the new contract so that we can move on from that. Because there's a big summer coming up, guys. This manager hasn't really had a window as such to do things his way yet, and we can see with his hesitation on some players that there's going to be a lot of changes in the summer. And with this shower we've got here, FSG, I have no idea what that's going to mean in terms of bringing the players in, because backing, it's the backing side, some stuff I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I was hearing someone else mentioning today about some stuff's come out about the books and that, and what they've been spending over this previous calendar year, and it doesn't all add up or something, and it's all a bit of a mystery, and I don't know, doesn't surprise me one bit. I haven't had time to look into that yet. We'd be screwed without VVD and Salah. I'm okay with Trent's departure if he goes. Yeah, he's been a great servant. Never purposely ran his contract down. Plus, we have Conor Bradley. Yeah, yeah. Conor Bradley, I think, is going to be an amazing player. I don't know whether he's ready to do it all on his own over there. I think we will need to still bring someone in at right back if Trent does go, in my opinion. But I expect him to come more and more into it. With BVD and Salah, I mean, they're just no-nos. I don't want to see either of them leaving the club. They're still playing so well. They're still fit. I mean, here we are, just over halfway in the season, and they look good. They still look really good. They're playing really well. Well, okay, Mo had a bit of a dip over just after Christmas, but I mean, looked a little bit better. But I mean, he put so much into the first half of the season, you'd expect a bit of a drop off. Anyway, he does drop off even when he was younger. He has those moments, but yeah, no, I agree with that. No, it wasn't their fault that the contracts run down either. I mean, that's something that should have been sorted out by the club. And I don't know. I mean, I know I know I wasn't born in Liverpool, and so I don't have that connection with growing up in Liverpool and going through the youth system, and how local Liverpudlians feel about the connection with him and the club. In other words, like him leaving to go somewhere else is just like a big no-no. For me, I think he's won a lot of things with Liverpool, and on the other side of that, maybe he just wants that fresh challenge. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you could argue, well, your boy at club, you could have a chance to be captain, just go and win a bit more. But everyone's different, of course. I know, but it wasn't his fault that the contracts got to this stage, and I hope this never happens again. To be quite honest with you, we get the contracts right down, but no one is signing. We're not bringing anyone in. The summer worries me. It really does worry me. The summer. There's just too much work to do for this lot, and yeah. So I don't know. No, I agree with that. We will be screwed without VVD and Seba, definitely. So yeah, I just thought I'd jump on for a bit to just look over those few bits there, really, um, and see, kind of like see kind of where we're going. I mean, our next fixtures are ones which we obviously, I think we'll definitely beat Ipswich. I think PSV doesn't actually matter. So those are two games there. Then comes the big ones, the Bournemouth and the Everton games. Excuse me, which are a bit of a different ball game altogether in some respects. But we'll see. Anyway, Ship's Cat, thank you for joining in on this short stream. I'm just learning how to get more and more involved on the streaming side of things and that kind of thing. So I'm quite pleased that you were there. Thank you for that. And so what we'll do is I'll probably do a bit of a preview for the game coming up, and I'll definitely do a watch along for the next game against Ipswich, definitely. So I'll see you around, guys. Hoping to have a couple of people on the channel soon. Some familiar faces that you'll probably all know, but I'm hoping that will all work out. I've got some things in the pipeline there. So let's do a bit more collaboration, which I think is important. Anyway, thank you guys, and I shall catch you soon. And yeah, have a nice evening.